Andrew, you have a fan base here. Everybody, shut up!
I thought you were going to say shout.
No, shut the fuck up, everybody!
Oh, very nice host. Very nice host.
This host is not afraid of violence. Spanking is included in this event for free. Guys at the bar, I'm not fucking joking about spanking. All right. If someone will interrupt my interview with Andrius,
no, it's fine.
That I put so much energy.
I try to speak with my wife like this. It doesn't work. I can tell you, it doesn't work.
Your wife is.
You have to change something.
Your wife is used to it, and these people are kind of still afraid of me. So.
Anyway, I'm not a psychologist.
Thank you all very much. We have a pleasure of this evening of interviewing Andrius Bičeika, serial entrepreneur.
For a job.
I didn't know you were looking for a job. Times are tough. Crypto's going down. You know, if something, we're hiring.
For a wife, maybe. If I continue speaking like you.
So, I know Andrius for many years, and I've seen him build startups. I've seen him work in...
You've seen me naked as well.
I've seen you naked on multiple occasions in sauna. I've seen your work with FinTechs. I've seen your work of healthcare.
The services.
Mobility, we call it Mobility Smart City.
CEO, CDP.
And of course, you spent almost 10 years in Revolut in all kinds of positions, and all the people today gathered to learn from your experience and take it home, hopefully.
Yeah, I hope no one's watching, no one filming. I thought you said it's gonna be only 5 people, no?
It turned out to be a bit...
No, look guys, I've been, I only agreed to be here because he has my nude photos.
I'm starting Lithuanian Epstein
not
files.
like Trump style stuff, but it's embarrassing, you know. So he promised to delete them, so I agreed. Yes, everyone is watching. White House joined. I'm your slave.
I was just doing a brief introduction, Andrew.
Yes. No questions yet.
Did you read any of the questions?
No. Did you send?
Exactly.
Did you send? Oh no.
I did. Yes.
You did?
I did. It doesn't matter.
Should we cancel?
We're.
Let's postpone.
I think we're fine freestyling, but
I mean, don't worry. Well, I saw this one, but this was the disclaimer.
That was the agreement that you made.
That you will delete the photo. Oh, that was the photo. That was the question. That's fine.
All right.
You can read them out loud.
Let's try to be as serious.
Why?
And
I sometimes I'm amazed. One day you are like cutlers. One day you're like Cutler. Another day on Friday, 7 p.m. you want to be like Noseda. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We all are different.
We keep our private life private, Andrius. So, if you would be starting a company.
No, that's a good question actually.
What company would you start? What company would you
I didn't start like Revolut per se. I could have been a co-founder actually, because I met Vlad and Nick in the conference, in the FinTech conference, a similar event like this. Not so, but a very focused event in London, and they were showing something that they will launch in like 3 or 4 months. And I saw, it's like, you can tell that they thought about several problems, etc. So maybe I could have been a co-founder, just like a one thing, right? So I didn't start Revolut, but if I start, I wouldn't start. I never had this feeling of starting my own company. I don't know why, but I didn't. Now I could maybe start, but then you suddenly become 24/7. As you all, if you want to achieve something, you have to be 24/7, especially if you have majority of the shares.
But you had a great insight to focus on Revolut early on, because I remember I remember when you were young, you had hair, you were beautiful, and you were pushing Revolut cards to everyone
Yes,
you knew.
but
You had an insight to double down on Revolut. What was it in Revolut, in the founders of Revolut, that made you focus so much on it?
Yes, that's a good point, and let's focus on that. I think it's really, and yesterday actually at Logoff there was this mental health conference at Vilnius, a big one actually. We spoke a lot about ambition, and I really attribute that to the ambition of the founders, because it's okay to not have like huge ambition to conquer the world. It's like to be just in one niche area or in one country, like not mentioning the names like Monzo or like some others, like let's conquer this, or like, with no offense guys, let's test in Lithuanian market and then we will expand into Latvia.
He's making fun of me specifically.
I didn't know, but all the Baltics and expand into Poland. But again, that's kind of fine. But with Revolut, even the first product that they launched actually was the bigger product than it is now, because they were able to do it across the whole world. Because that was some loop in the contracts or whatever. It doesn't matter. But those who remember, you could have Revolut anywhere in the world, because PaySafe was involved, whatever. It was the setup. Now we have to have licenses, blah 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 blah. But the ambition from the start was, let's do it global. Let's do it global. Of course, the risks are different, but the pitch decks are also different. It's actually. It's to some point, it's all about, pitch decks. Again, with no offense, but when I started with the startup Lithuania with you and some other OGs I saw today, I remember one guy who was pitching, maybe you remember that Italian guy. And
Flavio!
Flavio wasn't Flavio. I'm bad now with those. The key thing with pitch decks is you draw a line like this and you bullshit. To some extent, in the beginning, it's actually very, very true, right? So the thing, you have to have execution from the start, right? That you cannot avoid that. And maybe we will touch that more deeper on the execution part, because that's the most important thing at Revolut. It always has been execution. I mean, I know it's like boring and like cliche, etc., but you wouldn't believe how many people are still like thinking about the problem rather than thinking about when do we launch today, or like because I will tell you, when I learned about execution the hard time, almost not tight, but my mental health was definitely bad at that time. So I joined Revolut almost 10 years ago as like head of business development. All these fancy positions that mean nothing. In the early startups, in the early day startups, I was employee 18, active employee. We had hired more people by then, but some of them left for some reason. And then first day at work, I came to NED. I was hired to sell business product. Revolut Business. A new product line for Revolut. And Nick would say, "Oh yeah, man, it's not created yet." Can you create it? Here is the front-end engineer, back-end engineer, designer if you need it. So just grab them outside their normal working hours and just push something. And then it's like, what? I was like this BD guy before, all the time before, and I was like, I'm not like a product manager. I don't know. Should I read Google PM books? Should I read other books or Coursera courses or other stuff? And I started just doing it, every day, every second day we will catch up, no like Scrum bullshit, master backlog shit. back then. Now we do these things, but in the beginning, it doesn't really matter. It's all about the execution and not the kind of the planning and how it should be. You change the delivery date. And then one day, so 5 months passed by, and then Nick would gather us, me as the lead PM for the business product, then the head of PR, media, whatever, marketing. That's it, probably, into the room. Say, okay, so we should be ready to launch in 2 weeks. At least 3 months, man. Ideally by end of the year, no, I mean, we don't have KYC, Nah, 2 months. I think 2 weeks is fine. Chad set up FT, BBC, CNN, so we are launching business product. We got 12,000 in the waiting list. 12,000 businesses in the waiting list. We should serve them. I was really what? I knew it from the beginning, from the inside.
Yeah.
It was early days still, we didn't have many kind of. And then you just, in the early days, you just ask probably 2 questions, If you launch that, will you bankrupt instantly? The answer is no. And the second, will you go to jail? And if the answer is no, highly likely no, you probably must launch. Because one of the best quotes that I heard probably in that period as well from Mark Zuckerberg, Reid Hoffman used to have the podcast with some of the guys back in the day. Reid Hoffman is the LinkedIn founder. With Mark Zuckerberg, I think he told, when you are launching something, and it doesn't matter what, but mainly apps probably, like you guys, right? If you are pushing the app into the App Store or Google Play, and you are not embarrassed, you're launching too late. If you're launching something and you're not embarrassed, but what you're launching too late. That's coming from Mark Zuckerberg, already having big company 10 years ago.
So ambition, execution,
execution, but let me finish with my Revolut business, okay? So I didn't come to Lithuania for that 2 weeks, when we kind of agreed. We agreed. We can get to that as well, how democracy is amazing at the companies, and it helps push things forward. So I essentially rented Airbnb downstairs just to shower, maybe have a few hours of sleep, and that's it. We pushed the button. Some guy, back-end engineer, someone on the train, 7:45 a.m. on 12th of June, 2017 or something. Push that. Oh, that doesn't work. The internet is bad on the train. Push it. And then, obviously, by the best practices, we emailed all the people on the wish list, on the waiting list, all the businesses on the waiting list, not staggered approach. Not let's email 100 and see how they do it. FT started writing, BBC at 8 a.m. because they had an embargo by 8 a.m. They started writing about that. Everything, we don't swear here, fucking crashed. It's just fucking, we thought we created something, where did it go? It suddenly started asking for the discount code. And it just blocks the whole screen and there is no skip button. You just have to enter the fucking discount code, which you don't have, no one has. You enter anything, it's wrong discount code. Random things started here. What happened is the most important thing, right? Which I didn't know because I wasn't in this kind of PM role before, or engineering or whatever, launching things fast role. It was the red alert, the highest alert at the company. And then everyone started working full hours for this stuff. And what we probably achieved in a week, we wouldn't have achieved if I gotten actually 3 months that I asked, and probably 3 months after that. So that just illustrated. And then of course I written my resignation already, printed in various places at home, and so on. I was like, this fucking shit is breaking. And then Nick would say, we would meet at no man, it's fine. I think it's fine. We will survive, it's fine. And it survived, and now it's making this line alone, making $1 billion in dollars revenue a year. And no one, thank you. It's my baby, exactly. And no one writes at the bottom, like, as created by Bičeika. No, I don't see it. It's Bičeika's baby. No disclaimers, it should be. And the statements.
Besides the things that you...
So this is the point. Did you understand the lesson? Did you understand what I just told you?
I think I did. People, did you understand the lesson? Ambitious, execute, shift
yes.
early, shift fast.
Yes.
Don't be afraid. Besides the things that you wouldn't do to actually not go to jail. Is there anything you wouldn't do again? Looking back, is there anything you wouldn't do again?
That's a good point, because retrospectively looking at the moment, when I was there at the moment, and especially because I changed 12 roles at Revolut, and at one point I had this amazing privilege to be the global head of people at Revolut. But it was early days.
We read the articles.
Yeah, a lot of articles, featured twice on Wired, Global Wired, twice. So look, that was interesting. Of course, what we achieved during that period was that we created the values, which are actually, we hire, we promote, and we fire people by those values and the behaviors, and they're actually very explicit if you look, and it's not like random stuff, innovation, you know, it's really focused, and we didn't do any kind of surveys internally, what values you think it should be, because let's be also clear, culture, and high performance culture especially, it comes from the top. And culture, what is culture actually? Is actually how do you see others who are already in the company, and especially the top, behave. Not what they tell, how they behave. You shout at people, right? And say, oh, you're stupid, bastard, like as you said like 10 minutes ago. But everyone...
Shut up in the back!
Everyone knows that you're like a very nice guy, you know, right? So look, what I'm saying is, when you see the top, especially the top in the early startups, behave specifically. It doesn't matter what is written in the PowerPoint, like, oh, we are like lovely bunch of family. It's a mismatch, and you will always follow how they behave. It's just a fact. So it's better to lay down things as they are. And at the time, I thought that I wouldn't be that aggressive. Maybe I wouldn't be. I would be more relaxed as a head of HR. I would be like this and that. I hired like the HR business partners and all this, like traditional stuff. They're all gone many years ago. Because now I think that was exactly the point why we succeeded. Because I was so honest with the ones, especially the senior guys that we were hiring, not overselling the position. Because the worst that can happen, and we did that numerous times back in the day, when we would try to oversell the position and the guy comes, he just maybe ditched his, senior or whatever partner role at the Goldman Sachs and came here and is fired in 2 weeks because he doesn't know how to use Jira. Because everything should be in Jira, so what do you do during a day if it's like, so not overselling and telling the truth, really, like, if we knew that you had to work many hours, and people would argue that, oh, but you can get tired and the productivity can go down. Yes, if you are at Google, people there don't need maybe to work 80 hours a week anymore, because it's already a ship, right? You won't make a big difference. But in the early days, every additional hour that you focus, and especially if it's more people than you, than just the founder, that you focus on the problem or something, because it's early days, it adds tremendous effect on the progression of the company. So we did that. I used to tell that, you know, if you're used to stay behind the back in your team, or not take responsibility, or not work on Friday evenings when you have to go to a theater, over exaggerating a bit, it's the worst place on earth. It's the worst place on earth. And if it's opposite, right, it's the best place on earth, because you will get enormous, you will get unlimited responsibility. Our best forever employee would be Alan Chang, the first employee, like outside the founders, now the founder of Fusion, 5 billion valuation energy company from the UK. After a 2-year only, you know, whatever, he left Revolut after 7 years. He was like chief revenue, whatever. He was like essentially the co-founder, which is good, not the founder state, but like, it was he was 22 when we hired him. He had all the responsibilities at Revolut when he left, all the possible responsibilities. He could make any decision whatsoever. So it's not about, you know, it's about but it's very important. What I'm saying is that maybe not all of you are experiencing that. Because when you hire, for example, if I'm now hired for some company, I would be useless piece of shit. I am, not would, I am already useless piece of shit. But that's the life. I not necessarily care about money, I'm hands off, I don't want to be involved into that, you know, nitty-gritty stuff. But back in the day, you have to recognize that's why the younger guys, and especially the ones who are coming from, you know, the consulting, the you know, in our
like big fours.
Big four, you know, like BCGs, McKinsey's as well, you know, like they used to work hard, they used to kind of, you know, and especially nowadays when AI is there, so you have to be 10 times more efficient even.
How the hell did you become head of people?
I love people.
We all know it's a lie. How did you go from sales, PM, biz dev, leadership?
That's actually a good question. No idea. No, we thought that's another aspect of being early in the company and being like, you know, because we all knew that I'm not going to be there forever. You know, but as an early start, almost any position in the early startup, apart of the technology, of course, engineering, anyone could do. Anyone could do. Especially nowadays, like AI would give you like steps, etc., etc. It's just a matter of execution. And especially when no one is looking at you, oh yeah, but this guy doesn't have like 10 years HR experience. Everyone does HR, sales, whatever, at any time in the early days. I'm talking about early days, guys. Now Revolut is like 23,000, I forgot the number of people. It's like, of course, now it's like too many committees and too many kind of approvals and so on, but that's inevitable, right? I wish you all this, right? I wish you all this. Where you'll be like Mark Zuckerberg drinking beer upside down, right? Into now Facebook is a big corporation. It's huge corporation. So
I don't know if you can comment on this legally.
Of course, I can. Of course, it's not that we are recording or something.
Just between you and me, Andrius. Did you make people
cry?
Give out? I know you had people. Did you make people give out as many cards? You kind of had like a gladiator competition to for a position you wanted to hire. You made people give out business cards. And the one who gave out the most cards got the position.
Yes, exactly. And that was like infamous, wired article. You can Google it. And I was like, some unhappy candidate, which fine. Now, retrospectively speaking, maybe we shouldn't do that. But that was the best indicator, because you would go into position, let's say as a country manager, or as it's basically the same as like card giver or country manager. At that time, we didn't have budget. We didn't have any marketing budget, no PPC, nothing. It's the real-time situation. So of course, nowadays, maybe we would just go for influencers, which we do, is essentially what we were looking back in the day, before influencers were even popular. we were looking for influencers. So with your hands, literally, and other channels, digital or not digital channels, you needed to generate more signups. It doesn't matter how you do, and because you will be evaluated on the performance, how many people you attracted. So to play this virtual test before you even hired, that was actually, we received, no one talks now, how many, like, it's a nice test, I tried it, it's actually the position is not for me. Call me when you have a budget. I'm more used to spend the marketing budget, rather than doing something with my networks and so on. Then one candidate didn't like that idea and called it modern slavery.
And you tried that in multiple markets, right?
Yes.
Across Europe and UK.
And the ones who succeeded became country managers, and then the budgets came up, and etc. And some of them are retired already. Or retired. I always mix them.
Most of your time in Revolut you spent in UK. Like if you compare like the hustle and the startup culture here in Lithuania and UK.
I don't want to kind of embarrass anyone.
Don't worry about it. Just go.
But it's UK, and I try. It's hard to pinpoint. There's very specific. I don't know. Let me tell you one thing, right? Because
maybe it's specific London, right?
Specific role. That's very interesting. Specific role, because the biggest role at Revolut, by far, and the most influential role is called operations manager. It's operations. What does operations mean? Everything. You are the one who is chasing everyone. You are the one who is chasing all the stakeholders to make sure that this project or the market entry or anything succeeds. You are the one pushing, because in the reality what happens, you agree on the project, right? On Scrum or Waterfall, whatever. If insurance company, you probably agree on 5 years plan. And I'm talking about early days, right? Whatever you agree, right? On the management board. And then it's like, this guy does something, this does something, and it's like, so who's accountable? Who's accountable? Like, you would think that, maybe the CEO of the country is accountable. But you have to hire this hands-off guy just for the face of, let's say, regulator, right? He doesn't know a shit what is happening in his team. That's how it is, that's the reality. So who else? The ones who are programming? Of course, no. Who to fire or who to shout at? So it's operations managers. So what happens? And this specific thing, somehow, I don't know if there's actually across many kind of companies in UK, that they kind of have this glue within the companies called operations manager or like execution or whatever.
COO or deputy.
Yeah, COOs is already too hands on. They don't know. Because Nick would specifically just see at the directory and ask for the update from operation manager. And it's the only person who would know everything. Because it's his role to chase these hands-off guys, to wake them up, and to kind of chase everyone, to make sure the Jira is kind of up to date. Maybe you call them like Scrum, whatever, but they're more operational, like here. Yes. More operational, more intrusive, and then they are also the functional managers to evaluate the whole team. So the other guys, it's not enough for the other guys to kiss only the direct manager's ass. They actually have to perform. So the operation manager could give them good grades and to be promoted, etc. This is that's smart, very smart. Very smart question. And that's, I think, the difference, because we really struggled, and probably struggling, hands off now, with operations kind of managers to fill this kind of roles or to get people here in Lithuania. And the one that we had, Lorina Spangavičius, became the fucking Robin Hood's Europe's head. Because the ones also are targeted the ones. So the ones who know the secret other companies, other startups or whatever, their target, this is the most targeted position as well at Revolut, you know, because they know that it's these operation managers who are getting shit done. It's them the most that are getting shit done. And operation managers are by far the biggest, because Alan Chang, don't forget, he was operations in Intel. Yeah, we let like 20 students from this kind of tech data university to work at Revolut in the summer, and we only left the strongest, and it was Alan. That's one way to do it. And probably we pay that. Look, it's fine. Who cares? I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. Continuing on operation manager, by far the biggest number of people who are leaving Revolut and creating their own companies are operation managers. Because they know that execution is key, and what does execution mean, and they set up the whole things. By far the biggest number of people who create, because we are competing of keeping, with whom are we competing to keep the best people? Not with other companies, with them leaving to create their own companies. That's it, the only, like...
Can we copy that in Lithuania? Can we import that managerial culture somehow, like specifically for operation managers role? That's a very
easy. It's probably like not execution. I believe those people are kind of everywhere. Maybe they're not like unified or called the same, because you don't have to be like called COO. Yes, we know that COO is like, it has to be operations, etc. Because these operation managers are in, even if you look at accounting, their team has at least one operation manager. Because without any offense to accounting people, how on earth they would know how to make accounting more efficient? I mean, it sounds bad, but from operations perspective, these guys look at things and say, look, but we can't create internal software to kind of help you with this shit that you do on the daily work. You probably haven't told anyone, or like told, but they forgot. But now you tell me, and I will make sure that, and it's everywhere. We have so many internal products as well. And these internal products are also evaluated every day by CSAT, by customer satisfaction. Our legal counsel people, the team is evaluated by customer satisfaction. Everyone gets, you know, because every goal, maybe we will get to the goals final, KPIs, because it's another very important thing. It has to be measurable. It has to be measurable for us. Not like, you know, you are in compliance and it's like, to retain a nice relationship with Lietuvos bankas. What does that mean? You know, like, is it nice? It's like 2 bottles of wine per meeting.
Candlelight.
You get the point, right? You get the point. So we always strive, and I think we have a rule of your KPI or personal KPI or team KPI has to be at least 80% measurable.
Going slightly from operations to, let's say, early stages startup. Just started kicking off in the first market. We're going to our first foreign market, second, third market. What mistakes people do? Like, obviously, we already learned. Ambition, go fast, as long as you're not getting in jail. All good, launch early. But practically, you went to so many markets of Revolut, like, what would you advise?
Look, man, it's really about what I would also attribute, and that's another good point actually that you kind of mentioned. And I like to quote Andrius Bičeika, one of the local influencers, potential employee at my team back in the day, probably. Or now, if he wants to get to spread the word about cards. I liked one thing when he wrote Vilnius, right? So he is an author as well, right? He writes books, and he said in one of those Laisvės TV or somewhere, some of those shows, there are so many books in the bookstores. but do we know about them? And that got me thinking that you have to be visible. You have to, like whether you say that, oh, let's do some guerrilla marketing or some whatever bullshit. And I think what I can attribute, it has to be a killer feature somewhere. One thing that you can shout about. You have to bring to the media, and we had media people and PR people all the time in every country. So they would just do news jacking, or whatever that term is, that they kind of read the news and try to kind of put the commentary in perspective or something. You have to shout out loud as much as possible, and I think that was also crucial in the second year of Revolut or third year of Revolut, that we started. We hired someone who knew those contacts in the big outlets, and would try to very elegantly, because good people are good people, So for example, we have Laurinas Boguševičius, right, my good friend, who went from deals from wheels into deals on homes, or whatever it's called now. He doesn't spend anything on marketing, but he's every day even today he's now like on Delphi TV or somewhere. And he just wants to conquer the Lithuanian market, and the market is very tough, the NFT market, or real estate market is very tough, the brokerage market is very tough. He's only like not half of the market share after 1 year. So my suggestion, and then it obviously depends whether it's B2B or not B2B, right? In your case, it's unfortunately B2B. For now. And that's another thing, but still you have to be loud, you have to find a way, and that's why when you hire, you ask them to sell to at least 3 institutions before they are hired. Joking, semi-joking, but you get the point, right? It's really about the resourcefulness. I know, Eddie, you are very resourceful. You put this event in place. No one believed that so many people show up. You're very execution-driven. So do the same in Poland. Gather the people who are potential clients, give them Kasumi tea or whoever sponsored the first part. Not the Kasumi. Not this tea.
Yes.
But there's Kasumi tea, right?
Poland, we're coming for you.
At the airport. I'll buy that. You get the point. So Rev Rallies really helped to spread the message, because we invited the best people, right? So especially when you have the first client, it's like another spin-off, right? It's like the client comes and talks about how great you are and so on. You can invite me all the time. Then you gather potential. It's all about hustling, and then you realize that these events don't work. And maybe let's not do the events. Maybe let's do the content. Maybe let's educate the ones who are responsible, or kind of should be influenced. I know it's like there is no silver bullet. It's all about iteration. What is success? It's just constant iteration until you get there.
How do you evaluate startup success now as an angel investor? And let's be honest, there'll be in a number of funds.
Yes, I don't evaluate. That's the thing. Before retiring, I bought a big iMac. I thought, I'm gonna do angel investing. Right, on one side it's gonna be like the PowerPoints with the pitch decks, and here it will be Excel with financials, and in the front will be the face of the founder. And I did 2 interviews, as an angel. And they all crying, and it's like, I feel them. I mean, I just take the money.
Right.
I said, take the money. Not probably literally, No, but I know that they need the money. I know the execution is shit, but I'm a good person, right? I'm a head of people, ex-head of people. I want to help them. These homeless people, you also sometimes. Semi-joke. And then it's like, okay, I spoke with 2, and I want to help them just because, I'm a good person. And then I spoke with Donatas Garas, and I said, by the way, Don said, how many pitch decks are you looking at per year? 800, 900? I don't have time for this. Just take the money. So that's, I'm not, I only did the 15 walk app. Yeah, and this Lego thing.
Walk 15.
Sort of brick, yeah. I know, I'm in Lego.
And,
no, it's like, what, how? They don't have a product yet. You know?
Both are doing great. Both are raising more rounds and expanding. Okay, well, you're not a fan of angel investing.
No.
You're involved in a number of funds.
Yes.
How do you evaluate?
I don't do
How
anything.
do you choose funds? Huh?
They just come to me, they pitch. I want to help them. No, literally. Bananas, caras, and I don't know. They came to me, to Vesdonis. I mean, they came like 30 kilometers. They already spent so much on diesel.
Don't say your exact address.
I want
People will show up.
No, but that's for all the funds. For all the funds. Contrarian and others. Tell me a fund, they did the same. And something, no, look, I know what you want to get from me in terms of like the fund should be looking at the execution. I know it sounds like very cliche or whatever, but I would really, especially now, guys, it's so hard to raise the money if you don't show the VCs how you can do the same as you could do 5 years ago, but with 10 times less money or 10 times less people, because there is AI, so you definitely have to use AI in every slide, but be super efficient, because, and that's, to be very honest, if it's not a bridge round, which they do a lot, like 13th bridge round, it's the only thing for the new investment that you have to look at. It's this kind of traction. I know, again, it sounds stupid, but even to show people, as we did, like we have 12,000 businesses on the waiting list, which is essentially just signing up on the landing page, is as stupid as we still had this idea of creating multiple landing pages on the internet, right? And they are just fake ones, right? And you just build the database. And if you don't have like something to create the product and show that to the VCs, right? So they kind of like that, and we want to kind of do that. I know it's actually, but this is like pure execution. This is pure execution. What the hell then did you do from 9 till 2 o'clock in the morning? No, but that's as simple as that. I really do think that's as simple as that. And if it doesn't work, either pivot, create a new one, and just be fast.
It doesn't have to be rocket science. Exactly. Keep it simple, stupid. So, final thoughts. What would you advise Lithuanian founders right now? Ambition, execution, avoid
No,
fail.
look, no, it's maybe expand the network. Because you can't get people working remotely still. I know a lot of people are trying, a lot of companies trying to get you to the office, etc. But we went totally different directions, Because if you set up your goals properly, if you set up your KPIs properly, it really doesn't matter where you work from. But it has to be on that. So if you use this parameter and you want to hire someone, and you're specifically just looking at Lithuania, you can probably just waste your money and time, obviously, to maybe expand the search, and then use platforms like Deal or something, so you don't have to create offices, like real offices, etc. You can legitimize them, formalize them, especially from HR perspective, which is very important, as I learned back in the day, in those countries. And Deal probably is a good platform. My direct report, he went and created Deal. He was my direct report like this old, this small, when I first met him. My other report, T-Block, right, another crypto, like my best employee, right? It's like, I'm like a minting these billionaires. No, I'm joking, but But that's very specific example you mentioned. But finding the people, they don't have to be, of course it's nice to meet face to face and kind of, and if you're doing that and you want to create a company, then think, I know it sounds harsh, think, is this the smartest person I know? I know it sounds harsh, but that has to be, and don't forget that the other person can also think the same. The other co-founder.
That's a great line to finish off. Think about the people around you. Be ambitious. Thank you so much, Andrew.
Thank you.
Guys, we will be back on March 5th with amazing selection of the best Lithuanian defense and multi-purpose startups. We're gonna have RSI Europe here. We're gonna have Broadlet Semiconductors. We're gonna have Lunar Robotics, and a number of other companies that I'm blanking on the names now. So mark your calendars for March 5th. Thank you all, guys. Enjoy your night.